Hello everyone, hello to all of you my students. I am here again to discuss your E1 or English 1 subject. Today we will talk about daily routine. We will just continue your lesson about telling time. Okay, now let's begin. What do you do in the morning? In the morning, what time do you wake up? What time do you wake up? Look at the time, look at the clock. The short hand is pointing to number 6 and the long hand is pointing to number 12. The answer is I get up at 6 o'clock. I get up at 6 o'clock. Okay. In the morning, what time do you have breakfast? What time do you have breakfast? The short hand is pointing to number 7 and the long hand is pointing to number 12. The answer is I have breakfast at 7 o'clock. I have breakfast at 7 o'clock. In the morning, what time do you take a shower? What time do you take a shower? Okay, so the short hand is pointing to nearly 7 and the long hand is pointing to number 6. So let me remind you that the long hand, we use this as a minutes and the short hand is hour. So from number 1, we count this as 5 minutes. Let's count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. The answer is I take a shower at 7:30. I take a shower at 7:30. Okay? In the morning, what time do you get dressed? What time do you get dressed? The short hand is pointing nearly 7 and the long hand is pointing to number 9. That is equivalent to 45 minutes. So the answer is I get dressed at 7:45. I get dressed at 7:45. Okay, next. In the morning, what time do you go to school? What time do you go to school? The short hand is pointing to number 8 and the long hand is pointing to number 12. So the answer is I go to school at 8 o'clock. I go to school at 8 o'clock. Next. Now let's talk about in the afternoon. What do you do in the afternoon? In the afternoon, what time do you have lunch? What time do you have lunch? So the short hand and long hand is pointing at the same number 12. The answer here is I have lunch at 12 o'clock. I have lunch at 12 o'clock. Okay. In the afternoon, what time do you go home? What time do you go home? The short hand is pointing to number 3 and the long hand is pointing to number 12. The answer here is I go home at 3 o'clock. I go home at 3 o'clock. In the afternoon, what time do you play toys? What time do you play toys? The short hand is pointing nearly number 3 and the long hand is pointing number 6, that is equivalent to 30 minutes. So the answer here is I play my toys at 3:30. I play my toys at 3:30. In the afternoon, what time do you do your homework? What time do you do your homework? The short hand is pointing number 4 and the long hand is pointing 12. So the answer here is I do my homework at 4 o'clock. I do my homework at 4 o'clock. Now let's go to in the evening. In the evening. In the evening, what time do you take a bath? What time do you take a bath? The short hand is pointing to number 6 and the long hand is pointing to number 12. The answer here is I take a bath at 6 o'clock. I take a bath at 6 o'clock. In the evening, what time do you have a dinner? What time do you have a dinner? So the answer here, the short hand is pointing number 7 and the long hand is 12. The answer, we have dinner at 7 o'clock. We have dinner at 7 o'clock. In the evening, what time do you usually watch television? The short hand is pointing to number 8 and the long hand is pointing to number 12. The answer here, we watch TV at 8 o'clock or we watch television at 8 o'clock. Okay. In the evening, what time do you go to bed? What time do you go to bed? The short hand is pointing to number 9 and the long hand is pointing to number 12. The answer here is I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I go to bed at 9 o'clock. Okay? So I hope you understand this lesson and I prepare a worksheet for you, my students. Please answer this and don't forget to write your name, class, and number. You can write also here this worksheet in your notebook. Okay? So that's it for now. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.